What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review. For this video, I will be reviewing episode 203 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled A Surprise Attack. So the episode pretty much started off with Kawaki looking for the final piece of the vase to fix Himawari vase that he broke. Boruto told Kawaki that he's gonna go train, and Kawaki continued to look for the vase. The last piece of the vase, and he couldn't find it, so he came to the conclusion that he was just going to have to figure out a different way to fix that vase, or to fill that last piece in there. And Naruto was like, the vase is pretty much restored already. And Kawaki was like, what's restored about a vase that has a hole in it? And Naruto said, you. And Kawaki was like, he said, that's basically why Boruto always makes fun of you, or something like that. And then Naruto was like, yeah, I feel like I've gotten another Shriek son. He feel like he got another Shriek son now with Kawaki. And Kawaki was like, he was thinking to himself, I'm not your son. But you can kind of tell that he said that with a little bit of doubt, and you could see that he was like, he seemed like kind of sad when he said that. Also, it didn't seem like it was true, like he truly meant that when he said it, because and more so it seemed like he was kind of like in denial a little bit. But then we also found out that Kashi and Koji said it's been a while since the Delta fight, and he expected that there was going to be some movement. But yeah, that basically confirmed that it's been a decent amount of time since the Delta fight. I noticed that the anime basically did make it seem like it's more time has passed since the Delta fight, because in the manga, like when Boruto, he was training with Mitsuki, and then he ended up, like right when he came back, that's when the whole situation was going on with Kawaki and Jigen and Naruto. Boruto came back like right after Naruto got taken to that other dimension, and but in the anime they basically made it where it seemed like a whole day passed from the last episode. It basically seemed like a whole day passed because Boruto, he was already back at home, and then he left again to go train with Mitsuki some more. So that's like 2 days that, it's basically a whole day that passed since the last episode. In the manga, it didn't really seem like any time passed. Boruto went to train with Mitsuki once, and then we came back. That's when that whole situation was going down with the Naruto and Jigen situation. So yeah, that was cool. Then we got a scene an anime original scene where Dinky, Awabe, and Metal Lee was playing cards with Shugadai and Inogen, and it was Dinky and Shikamaru playing cards together, playing that Shinobi card game, and whoever lost, the losing team had to pay for the other team some food, basically. And yeah, Chocho was also there, and yeah, Shikadai ended up winning, so Metal Lee and Awabe had to pay for their food. I guess he agreed to pay for Shikadai's food and the rest of his team's food. But then they started talking about Kawaki, and this confirmed some off-screen events happened, some things we didn't like, some things that happened that we didn't actually see happen in the last episode, but it was basically some off-screen stuff. It basically confirmed that Kawaki did actually meet Awabe, and yeah, that's cool. It's cool that we actually, I wish we would have got to see that whole full interaction like the first time them meeting, but we didn't. We just seen a brief little flashback of it because it was basically an off-screen event. But Awabe said he doesn't like Kawaki, and based on how Kawaki was just staring at him and stuff, and seemed to be looking like staring at him with an angry look, and everybody else was like, hey, you used to be the same way, Awabe. And Awabe was like, don't mention that. And then Shukadai basically said that his mom told him to stay away from Kawaki, but he was wondering what everybody else was thinking about Kawaki being in the village now. And Nikki said it seemed like Kawaki is starting to get closer to Boruto. So yeah, and that's an observation that Dinky made, but it's very obvious for everybody. That's a very obvious observation that I'm pretty sure everybody else made as well, the people watching the anime. And yeah, because you can just clearly tell that that Kawaki is just getting closer, and he's getting, like, he's starting to trust or build a bond and a relationship with people in the village, especially Boruto, Naruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Himawari and Hinabi. Himawari and Hinata. Like, you can tell he's starting to, build a bond with the people in the village. But yeah. So then Boruto. Well, then we got a scene where Sarada, she went to the flower shop, Ino's flower shop, to pick up some flowers that I guess Sakura apparently bought some flowers for Sasuke, and then Sarada said, "Well, can I get some other flowers as well, some separate flowers?" And Ino was like, "Oh, well, you're gonna give a present for to somebody as well." And then Ino pretty much figured out that Sarada was gonna give those flowers to Kawaki, and she was like, "Well, they're all getting along pretty well now." And yeah, so Sarada got some flowers for Kawaki, which is very, I like that. I like that a lot. You could tell that even Sarada is actually starting to like Kawaki, and that's very cool. That's just some very cool stuff as well, to see people in the village starting to build bonds with Kawaki and stuff. But yeah, then we had a scene where Mitsuki and Boruto was training. Boruto basically he basically fell on a tree. He said that it felt like his whole body froze up, and that never happened to him before since he'd been a ninja. And his karma still started to activate, and he said it only activates in battle or when it resonates with Kawaki's. And that's when Boruto was like, something must be, he got a bad feeling. He thought that something must be going on with Kawaki, since his karma still started randomly activating, because he didn't do that consciously. So him and Mitsuki started running back towards the Uzumaki house to see what was going on with Kawaki. So yeah, then we had Jigen actually appearing in the village. He came through Kawaki's karma seal. He opened the portal and traveled through Kawaki's karma seal, and he was in Naruto's house. And yeah, so then basically he started fighting Naruto and the other Jonin that was with him, that was helping guard Kawaki. He basically knocked him out with he basically restricted their movements with his black rods. And yeah, so he did that to Naruto at first, because Naruto tried to attack him. He kicked Naruto away and put those black rods on him. And Naito's was like, yeah, this is an emergency, so he guessed it is an emergency, so Naito's had to help Naruto get those rods off of him. But we also got some anime original stuff added in there with Jigen fighting those other Jonin as well. Now in the manga, Konohamaru wasn't even there. Konohamaru wasn't Gordon Kawaki in the manga. I believe it was just two random Jonin. But yeah, it was just some random Jonin Gordon Kawaki, not Konohamaru. Konohamaru wasn't there. And the weird thing is, the anime actually made Konohamaru kind of have a little brief fight with Jigen. Now, Konohamaru didn't do any damage. He didn't even land a hit on Jigen. So Jigen was pretty much just dodging all of his hits and then just blocking them and stuff like that. So hopefully nobody, takes that the wrong way and try to act like Konohamaru is a lot stronger or something or try to use this to try to scale Konohamaru. Fact of the matter is, Konohamaru did nothing. He got destroyed by Jigen, obviously. His attacks was getting blocked constantly, and he was getting, Jigen was just dodging his attacks. But anyways, in the manga, Jigen only, basically fought Naruto when he was in the village. He didn't have any encounters with any other Jonin. But he thought to himself, he said that, is this the best the Hidden Leaf Village got to offer or whatever? So yeah, it's kind of making fun of them. Now, another thing is, the anime kind of really changed some things around with this scene that they so after Naruto got the rods off of him and he attacked Jigen again. In the manga originally, Naruto he basically did nothing to Jigen. He tried to attack him again, but Jigen just sent him to another dimension automatic, basically instantly after Naruto got them rods off of him. While Naruto was still in Jigen's house, while Jigen was still in Naruto's house, Naruto tried to attack Jigen again, and Jigen just sent him into another dimension easily. In the anime, they drastically changed some things up that actually made Naruto look stronger than how he looked in the manga. But yeah, they changed some things up, and they made it where instead of Jigen just sending Naruto into another dimension pretty quickly, Jigen actually had a brief little taijutsu exchange with Naruto, and yeah, and then Kurama told Naruto, "Hey, you gotta you can't just use taijutsu. This is different from the Delta fight. You gotta use you just can't use taijutsu. Now in the Delta fight, he didn't just use taijutsu. He did use his Rasengan, massive Rasengan, and a couple other things like lava style Rasengans, etc. But he was mainly just using taijutsu. But the Nine Tails could tell that Jigen was a way stronger opponent, and that Naruto had to do some more stuff. So yeah, so like I said, the anime, they added in that taijutsu stuff with Jigen. There was barely any taijutsu in the manga. While Jigen was in the village, he pretty much just easily sent Naruto into another dimension and stuff like that. But in the anime, I think they did make Naruto look a little bit stronger. But I think they did it for a decent narrative. I think it made sense the way they did it. From a narrative point of view, they're getting across the message that Kawaki is starting to bond with Naruto and starting to see Naruto, or starting to actually care about Naruto. And the way that they did that was they added in a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue they added in was so they kept the scene where Jigen was telling Kawaki about how he's gonna have to fix his hand, and how that prosthetic hand that Naruto gave Kawaki, it could be used as a tool to spy on Kawaki, and that way it wouldn't be different from the karma. And Kawaki was like, Naruto, Lord Okage would never do that. And then Kawaki, that his karma seal started to advance to a different stage. That's I call that karma seal version 2, where he actually started to get hit the horn around his head. And Jigen was pretty surprised. He was pretty surprised about that. He was like, wow, he actually advanced this far. And then that's when Naruto attacked Jigen again. As I said, in the manga, the second time Naruto attacked, he pretty much just instantly got sent to another dimension, I believe. And then, but in the anime, they just had a whole taijutsu exchange there with Jigen versus KCM Naruto. And then Jigen, he was powering up it seemed like he was powering up a huge attack. And Kashi and Koji was like, no way, he's really going to do that here. And like Kashi and Koji was pretty surprised that he was going to do that attack. And it seemed like Kashi and Koji was actually about to get involved as well, which is, it seemed like Kashi and Koji was about to get involved as well. And because Kashi and Koji was thinking to himself, he was like, I thought I was basically keeping track, or basically spying on Jigen, but it was really the other way around. Jigen was really the one who was just figuring out what Kashi and Koji's motives was and stuff like that. So then, as Jigen was powering up a very powerful attack, it looked like, then Kawaki said, "Okay, I'll go with you. Just stop. Just don't. He basically, he was willing to be obeyed. He was willing to be obedient and obey Jigen." And he basically wanted Jigen to leave Naruto alone, and he was willing to go with Jigen. And Jigen agreed to it. He was like, okay, as long as as long as you're obedient, then there's no problem. And then Naruto got in the way. And I'm pretty sure this is anime original dialogue that they added in there. I think they added in a lot of anime original dialogue, like a lot of dialogue that wasn't in the manga. But I haven't, I still got to get that new manga volume, because that manga volume, the one with the start of the Jigen versus Naruto and Sasuke fight, I believe that's volume 10, and I only have up to volume 9. I have the Boruto volumes 1 through 9. So yeah, I think that just came out in America, so I gotta go get that new volume. But anyways, yeah, I think they added in a lot of anime original dialogue. So yeah, so Naruto told Kawaki that, I can't just leave you alone. But it's pretty much, everybody in the village is my family. So Kawaki told Naruto, this doesn't have anything to do with you, and Naruto was like, basically, yes, it does, because everybody in the village is my family, and that includes you, Kawaki. And once again, you can see that really hit Kawaki. Like, it really, it made him feel good. You could tell, like, it seemed like a very emotional thing for him. And then Jigen just pretty much got sick of it, and then he sent Naruto to another dimension, and he was going to leave Naruto. He was going to leave Naruto in that dimension, but then Sasuke came and kicked Jigen and stopped Jigen from, just leaving Naruto there. And then Jigen was like, well, this is Jigen pretty much realized that Sasuke has space-time ninjutsu, he can open portals and stuff. So it's going to be useless for Jigen to try to just leave them there. So he was like, this. Jigen was like, this is perfect. He can take care of them, both of them right now. And also, you can notice. I mean, everybody should be able to notice that Jigen, he seems to have a lot of intel on Naruto and Sasuke. Like he knows their names and he's pretty familiar with them. He knew Naruto had the nine tails inside of him, etc. So yeah, overall, in terms of story, this was a fantastic episode. Like absolutely amazing episode. Absolute 10 out of 10. They added in some scenes. They added in a little bit of anime original content. A little bit of dialogue that was in the manga. They changed things up a little bit from how it was in the manga, but I think all of the changes were improvements. They definitely made things better. So overall, 10 out of 10 episode in terms of story. In terms of art, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. I did notice a couple times where the artwork was looking ridiculous. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10 for the artwork. And the animation was a 10 out of 10. So overall, 10 out of 10 episode. Another fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And I cannot wait until next week's episode. I just can't wait for it. Because we're going to finally get to see the Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen fight animated. And I hope this fight actually has better animation than episode 65. Where we got the Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki fight. I hope this episode... next week's episode has better animation than that episode, because so far episode 65 has the best animation, the best art and animation quality out of the entire Boruto series. Episode 65 still has the best animated and the best artwork and animation quality for an episode in all of Boruto. It's still the best episode in terms of art and animation in all of Boruto. And Momoshiki versus Naruto and Sasuke is still the best animated fight in the Boruto anime. So I hope next week's episode, I hope Jigen versus Naruto and Sasuke, I hope that episode surpasses the Momoshiki fight. I really do. So with that being said, yeah, that's all I gotta say for this episode and for this review. And if you guys like the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified of all of my future videos. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of this week's review and episode. And please share the video. And yeah, share the video all over social media. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.